it's install day. We are headed to my client that I did the unboxing for to decorate her home. So see you there. So we're here in the client's dining room, and as you can see, it's a blank canvas. You may notice that there are some pieces that I asked her to pull out just in case there's a need to repurpose. I like to use what the client already has, and so I did use some of her things, but I just had her to pull out sort of a collection of them so that I could take a look. But I started with the buffet and bringing in this beautiful vase with these lovely poinsettias. I mean, I just think that these poinsettias from At Home store just made the perfect presentation. And then these are the lighted finials you may have seen before, and I don't light them up until a little later when I put batteries in them, of course, but just anchoring them on each side was the perfect centerpiece. It's all she needed, really simple. And of course, the backdrop for all of this is this beautiful red runner, that hand beaded runner. So moving over to the dining room table, as you can see, this is a table setting for 6, and I'm sure that this table extends because she's got these 2 chairs that are anchored in the corner, but she wanted to leave those corners. As a matter of fact, she asked me, should I bring those chairs in and replace them at the head of the table, and I told her I thought that they were perfect exactly where they are. So we are looking here at where I'm simply setting the table for 6 and doing all of the layering. Layering is what's so important. So you want to start with your runners and then move into several layers at each of your for each of your place settings. Assembled the centerpiece swag at home, but I did have several small things to do in terms of DIY while I was here. So you see me pulling out my glue gun, and meanwhile I do have her place settings here handy. So let's continue to set this table. I love the way it turned out. I'm super happy with the centerpiece. It's just absolutely beautiful. Exactly what she needed to ensure that she could have conversation. It's not too high. And it just turned out beautiful. It's just a beautiful spray. So continuing here, I'll just let you guys watch, and I'll decorate this table, and you'll see me pull out glue guns and all kind of supplies that I need to get the job done. But the thing to keep in mind is that we are creating balance on this table. We're using the red and silver and, of course, the natural green of the Christmas tree as far as the palette is concerned. But primarily it's red and silver. Now, you'll notice that when we get to the place where I add the napkins on the table, the intention was to use white, and she just didn't have any. So I told her she could bring those in at any point later on. But I also had planned to put wreaths on the back of the chairs, and as it turned out, if you notice the back of her chair, this how it's carved, there's fabric and then there's the wood carving. but it was just too tight for me to fit my finger down in, and I didn't want to, stress her chair or put any burden on, her furniture. And now moving into the entryway, I just wanted to say that I did not do the decorating of her banister primarily. I did end up finishing off an entire section on the upper level, and then also I finished off one of her stairwells. So she had to run out, get more garland, because whoever did her garland before didn't get enough to cover it, and she asked me to install that. And I also did not do her trees. The trees that you see in her home were not designed by me. So the original plan was to have me to come in if, in fact, the friend that she'd asked before she'd even met me could, and her friend ended up able to do it. So she ended up asking me to come in and bring more festivity throughout her home, which is what you see here. So in her entryway, I wanted to make a statement, and you'll see me put on my gloves and go to work here. Now, this garland is so beautiful, and it was very easy for me to add lights. Lights just are the answer. I like to add lights to garland all the time. It really brings it to light. There's times when, that doesn't make for a better presentation, but in this case, with the entryway, what it allows you to do is it allows you to turn those big overhead lights out that are in your foyer, and at night, just the ambient light just becomes so aesthetically pleasing. It's very, very warm. And so I wanted to create this wow moment, and I'm going to bring in these trees and garland and let you see how it all unfolds. Some trays for her to add candy and treats for her guests. And of course, the beauty here was that the outlets were already here for us, and it was pretty much a blank canvas. She did have 2 vases on the floor, and I actually left one of the vases and moved the other one somewhere else. You'll see that a little later. But nicely presented. It's got form and it's got fun. So moving on to the formal living room, which is actually directly behind me as I stand at the entryway. I decided to keep it simple in here and just add color. So I added things like blankets and pillows. And some gifts under the tree. I did rearrange some of the furniture. There was a lot of crowding in there. And I thought maybe it would be a good idea to pull her daughter's piano over to the Christmas tree. So I had a little help in the lifting of the furniture, of course, from her husband. But I like the way that this turned out with just the addition of green and red. Very nice, beautiful pillows and blankets. And then the last thing that I did add are these large pine cone, a large and I guess a medium-sized pine cone berry Christmas tree. And I just was able to put that on top of her decorative item here. So the beautiful door wreaths was something that I knew that if I just added the right touch of red, it would strike the perfect balance. And I was able to simply use some of the mesh, and just by simply integrating it into various places on the wreath, it was really a simple installation. I had those pre-cut, again, making things go a little faster here. And so it just turned out really, really, really beautiful. So very simple. Keep that in mind. You can simply buy the base of what you need in terms of the color and add to it so easily. So we're in the family room, and the beauty here is that there's this nicely centered fireplace mantle. Well, the client had some very plain garlands, and there were actually several of them, and I zip tied 4 of them together, if not 6. I believe it was 6, yeah. 6 of them together with this beautiful, beautiful berry garland that I bought. And was this troublesome? Yes, it was very difficult to do in terms of managing it because it wasn't as flexible as I wanted it. But I got it, okay? And so I did use quite a few zip ties, but zip ties are your friend because they secure their extra set of hands. Once you get one on, you're good to go. And you can just move on down the line. So that's what I did. I had a lot of floor space that I was able to use in order to do this assembly. And so let's decorate this mantle. I also bought in that beautiful candle. I love those candles. Again, they came from Home Goods if you didn't see the unboxing. But they come in 3 different levels. And I took the wrapper off and just, put the ribbon on with the candy cane. she wanted something simple. She has small children, and she didn't want anything that they would necessarily be able to or be interested in, you know, disturbing. So everything seemed to be perfect in terms of just that as a centerpiece, and I used a tray that she already had. So I added this beautiful runner on the kitchen counter and a beautiful poinsettia. It's a live plant. She can transplant it when Christmas is over, and it just made a very simple, beautiful centerpiece. Very natural, obviously. And this is where the family eats, so she didn't want anything, of course, huge. I just asked her, could I have a piece of real estate in your island? And she said yes. So the last area in the home is in the kitchen. And I thought to present a coffee or tea or hot chocolate bar. And she and her family drink hot chocolate and they love tea. So simple setup. I asked her for bringing in some nice pictures of her kids, which would make it their own. And she had that flip calendar with how many days the countdown for Christmas, which is just adorable. So I added some trays, some treats, some teas, some hot chocolates, and just some of these marshmallow chocolate dipping sticks. So fun, so beautiful, and just really, really cute. But that gave us a little bit of real estate over in the corner in her kitchen. So loved the way it turned out. She was very, very happy. She was actually super happy about the entire project, which is most important. And why don't I take you on a tour of how it all festive charm for my client's space. So let me know what you think in the comments. And if you enjoyed this transformation, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And I'm really hoping that you are enjoying Living with Purpose Holiday Edition series. I hope the tips have inspired you to bring elegance and intention into your holiday decor. I'm wishing you a happy holiday. Come back. We have one more video that is the video of my home tour. So I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.